Good morning, world. Daniel Arulian here. I'm going to continue my little chats on ritual, and this morning I wanted to talk about the idea of creating a ritual practice is like learning to play an instrument, because it's interesting, and I love words. I love etymology. I have this big ass thick book of etymology, and ever since I was a kid, I just really liked delving deeper into words. And the etymology and how words are used for different things can often give us little clues and secrets into how to really approach why a word is called a certain thing. And if you think of the word ritual, ritual is like a process or a ceremony or a way of working, but it is also linked to something that we do repeatedly. And that's what I wanted to talk about, that aspect of ritual and repetition. And so when it comes to developing a ritual practice, think of it as you're learning an instrument, right? So when you're learning an instrument for the first time, and this can be applied to other things other than learning a musical instrument if you've never done that, but imagine you're learning to play guitar, for example. You start to learn the chords, you're fumbling around, and it feels kind of awkward and it doesn't really flow. But eventually you learn the foundations, and then you just end up making it your own. Whether you just learn to play pre-made songs, but often, musicians will just start to freestyle and play and make it their own. And, this applies to, say, riding a bike. The first time you get on a bike, it's awkward, clumsy. It's not really getting you where you need to go. It's even worse than walking because you're falling over. But eventually, once you get the flow of it, you learn to ride the vehicle to get where you're going in a really efficient and really fun way. And that's the thing that I think people don't really realize, is the ritual isn't the end goal. The ritual is the vehicle. And we're supposed to get used to the ritual and be so familiar with the ritual that it's like riding a bike or playing an instrument, doing all the hand movements, so that your consciousness can ride the ritual and actually create something from it. And that's where we're getting into manifestation practice and devotional practice and all these things that ritual can do for us. But if you're only doing it rarely, and especially just in a group format, not doing a home practice and learning to ride it in your own way, then you're really not getting the full power and benefits of what a ritual can bring you. And so that's what I'm really trying to bring to people in the ritual embodiment yoga teacher training. So as I mentioned before, yes, it's a normal 200-hour yoga training, but you're also going to learn the fundamentals of ritual. Because these days, a lot of people try a lot of different types of ritual practice, but they don't have a set system that they follow and learn. So they essentially, the way I see it, is they're picking up a different instrument every couple of days and getting frustrated that they're not making any progress in any area, because essentially you're learning a completely different instrument each time, and your body never has a chance to get to play with the instrument properly because you haven't absorbed that instrument into your body, right? Does this make sense? Because if you're picking up a guitar and then, playing the piano and then playing a trumpet, you're going to learn basic skills in each one and maybe have a bit of fun, but you're also going to probably be a bit frustrated and feel like you're not making any progress. So what we're going to do with this ritual embodiment training is learn. Essentially, you're learning to play an instrument. You're learning to pretty much master an instrument so that you can actually feel what it's meant to feel like to actually have a solid, powerful ritual practice that you can also teach others as well. And you'll have this solid foundation that you can actually run people through. But the thing is as well, it's very customizable. And so imagine you've got this instrument that you've mastered, but then you can actually tweak it and customize your own instrument, and even kind of take this idea and take this template and then apply it to other instruments in the future or other vehicles in the future. And I think this is really, really lacking and needed, in our yoga spiritual world. Because a lot, so much of what I see, people don't have mastery in a solid instrument, or really an understanding of what it feels like to play within that space. Because honestly, of all the different things that I've done in life, and especially when it comes to yoga or like spiritual practices, having like, when you're in a ritual, whether it's by yourself or in a group, and you start to get that flow, that, you know, that flow state, that ecstasy, it is, yeah, just something else entirely. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about teaching ritual and even using this word magic, because it is magical. And it is, and if you call yourself a yogi, if you call yourself a tantrika, and you don't have a solid ritual practice, and what I mean by that is, you know, a way of operating, connecting with the divine or the other world, or, you know, something like that, you're missing out, really. Like, you're missing out on the key, on the the whole point of all these things. So if you are ready to tap into and hone the real power of real ritual practice, and to be able to share this with others as well, to teach others and run them through it, because you'll be a fully fledged teacher at the end of this, our Ritual Embodiment 200-hour Tantra Yoga teacher training